Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello to our many millions of viewers live on the air
Billion.
at this
Six
exact
billion people.
6 billion people actually tuned in to watch our stream, and you won't believe what happened next. Um,
Soon it'll be 0 people, I'm sorry to say.
yeah, it's all right. It's fine as long as they leave their computers running.
Hell yeah.
That's fine. Um, Adrian is not able to be here, at least for the beginning of stream. We believe he might be able to arrive later, depending how long we end up going, so we'll see how that goes. But in the
Sadly, he
meantime,
is currently among one of the 6 billion, but we'll bring him back.
yeah, we're planning on shifting into another timeline to sort of handle that situation.
Yeah, we just need to do a few puzzles first, get our Danger and Epiphany up.
Yeah, and then we'll be fine. So let me give it a little bit more volume. You're trying to do audio based on only the waveforms is actually the worst thing to ever have to do.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be able to.
It's a nightmare. Would not recommend to a friend. All right. So where we left off, we were in the midst of Quark's letter to Sigma in Tenyoji and we were just about to experience a certified root beer moment.
We're gonna have a root beer moment, you guys.
God. Are we prepared to jump right on in?
I am prepared to jump right on in.
Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah. So how many I cannot see it from where I am looking at our stream on my phone. How many people are actually here?
Um it's more difficult to gauge than one might think. It might be nobody currently.
Okay, because I am not sure. Perhaps unprofessional question to ask, but if nobody is here, do you usually get started, or do you wait until one person ticks in, or?
It sometimes depends how early if we're already running a bit behind, I'll usually just jump in either way. Because people will come trickling in, but not always reliably in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, understandable.
But yeah, normally we'll pop in and then people will arrive over time.
All right. Eventually, the bartender. Wow. Of course, as soon as I started, my stream fucking died.
No! Did it?
No, it's not anything on your end. I meant where I'm watching Twitch.
Oh, okay.
But okay. Take 10 million. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. Hi, UB. Thank you. I'm so glad you could come. Wow, my computer was being cringe. Technically, it was my phone being cringe.
Wow, coup part 2.
As I look closer, I realize the second glass is full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float! I never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. Truly, what a fucking world.
Yeah. I guess alcohol probably preserved better.
Yeah, because the fact that they need to hand make the ice cream with definitely a limited dairy supply.
Yeah.
And probably have soda imported from the fucking moon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how they were making soda. Yeah.
But without that context, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know how it is. Glass of root beer, a bottle of 500-year-old wine.
Yeah.
I see a difference. The root beer's more expensive. And, like, again, just when, like, this is a line, and I believe magenta root, because that's when Sigma goes to the lounge. But, like, when Tenmyoji talks to Korka and is, like, you know, getting her all the root beer floats they can stomach, asking if he can even afford that, it really is a moment.
Yeah. Man. To
me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me.
Tenmyoji and First is such an interesting thing, too, because, like, there is quite a bit of insight into the absolute state of the world, but it's also, like, when you get it really early in the game and you don't have a lot of, like, context for the fact that it's a literal post-apocalypse, it's really interesting how, like, I remember just kind of, like, normalizing it, a lot of it in my brain and being like, huh, that's odd. Well, not gonna ruin my day. Like,
I could You're not looking to pick it up.
Yeah, like, there was a lot of stuff that, like, definitely registered to me as weird, like the thing about, you know, none of the other kids had moms, or, like, you know, this bit about the root beer being super rare. I was like, well, this kid clearly has grown up in a situation.
What a quirky little town.
Yeah, what a strange place to live. What interesting circumstances. But it definitely didn't, like, immediately like register to me as like something is very, very, very wrong. Yeah, like UB said, it's kind of like you just register them as growing up in a very, like, poor, you know, environment with not a lot of access to, like, you know, things that we would think of as being very commonplace.
And yeah, exactly. The brain just does not jump there without the context.
Yeah, which is, like, such a great thing that VLR does in general, where it's like they really do hand you all the answers, but it's not a conclusion that your brain, like, fucking Phi constantly calling Sigma, Phi always calling Sigma, like, ugly and old, and, like, you're just like, well, that's oddly specifically mean. Like, her being
I
like,
guess that's just how college-aged people are about their slightly older friends.
Yeah, which is true. I mean, we were calling each other old man and such when I was in college, but, like, yeah, that she's like, you must have done a lot of drugs to look like that at 22. Like, she laughs at his face, and I'm like, well, that was mean and weird to say. But Phi is mean and weird, so anyway.
Yeah, I am literally always saying this. Like, the fact that it's a narrative gives us, like, so much more. Like, yeah, we're gonna recognize that and be able to theorize it way sooner. Literally nothing, if you were a real human person inside the story, could you ever guess you're on the moon. The brain will not go there.
No. It's just, like, they're constantly just being like, well, that's a little strange. I feel kind of weird. Man, her body was oddly light when I picked her up. Anyway, must be the adrenaline.
Yeah, you simply will hand wave it way sooner than you get to, I'm on the moon.
Yeah. That's the thing. People don't want to suspect anything weird is happening. It, like, something will be strange and you'll just be like, it's probably nothing. I have other worries.
Your brain does not want the world turned upside down.
You be literally same. Phi is a golem.
That is still believed here. Oh, sorry, I didn't read, like, half of that.
Oh, shit. My bad.
It's okay. Totally understandable. But yeah, something else I actually wanted to say about this is I fucking love the drink choices of root beer and, like, a melon soda flow, just, like, as a choice for the themes of, like, yeah, those really do represent, like, the culture's idea of, like, childhood really well, and, like, Tenmyoji wanting to give Quark a hint of a normal childhood. And I think Root Beer Float was like the best localization you could do.
Yeah, I think it was really smart of them to localize it that way.
Yeah,
Because, like,
I'm really glad they didn't keep a melon soda float because that doesn't invoke the same image to the audience of the localization.
yeah. Yeah, whereas, like, the root beer float is, like, you immediately, like, fucking what kid was not all about a root beer float? I'm sure some of them. But, like...
Yeah, I do hate to say, me, I'm so disappointed in myself. I feel like I failed Quark, but I'm gonna try so many root beer floats until I like them for Quark's sake. But yeah, I mean, they just perfectly invoke, like, a normal summer childhood.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a really, really smart choice.
Yeah, it was a really good one. That's probably one of the big things. Adrian and I were just talking the other day about the thing where Janet Shu, the localization director for Ace Attorney, said that Virtue's Last Reward and Super Paper Mario are two of her all-time favorite localizations. Insane set of games to say next to each other. But,
yeah,
like, we were
put together.
Yeah, like, she's not wrong, but I'm like, I love you saying those in the same sentence.
Both series involve the moon at some point.
Yeah. But, like, I was wondering when I was talking to Adrian about it, I was like, I wonder what in VLR was localized so well that, like, that's at the top of her list. But that's probably one of the big things, was that, like, they made that change to really keep the feeling that it was meant to get across, the melon soda versus the root beer float. Which I think was, like you said, it's really smart to do that way.
Yeah, like, again, I don't think there's anything I could pick better, and I really fucking appreciate good localization where they make, like, a change that where, for someone, like, unfamiliar with, like, what localization is supposed to be and, like, sees, would want more, like, translation, like, they may not like it, but, like, I think this is amazing for a localization to do.
Yeah.
It is what stays to the heart of the source material.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that does make sense that this is one of the games that really informs Janet Shu's philosophy about, like, localization, because I think it makes a lot of sense that she would have, that she would really like this decision, just in light of how, you know, she has directed Ace Attorney generally.
Like, I know the whole, like, going out to get hamburgers thing is, like, a fandom joke, but, like, it's good.
Yeah, and it's, like, also, like...
I do still make fun of it because
oh, sure.
it is... Like, it is objectively a bit silly with, like, the setting and everything, and, like, Maya and, like, Karain, but, like, genuinely, like, it's a good equivalent localization.
Yeah, because it is, like, ramen is, like, the... You know, it can be that, like, cheap fast food that you can get literally anywhere. Which I think that's kind of what they were getting at, was that, like, Maya just wants, like, cheap, shitty fast food. But also, like, I think something that's interesting about Ace Attorney is, like, the age that it was localized in. Like, if they started localizing Ace Attorney now, it would look very different. Like, I think a lot of people...
Oh, for sure.
You know, yeah, like, it is funny, the burgers thing is hilarious, but I'm also like, man, it was, like, 2001? Like, there was no... You as a localizer could not assume that the average American gamer knew literally anything about Japan. Like, it's a different landscape now, where it's like, you know, the fucking Yakuza games are insanely popular. You know, which are extremely entrenched in, like, very specific cultural references in Japan. Yeah, I don't know.
Whereas, like, the age of, like, Ace Attorney was very distinct of, like, people who think they are very, very knowledgeable versus, like, complete nothing. There wasn't much in between.
Yeah.
And now there's just a lot more in between.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more of a range of, like, general awareness that people have. And even just like accessibility to more things like subtitles over dubs are much more widely available than they were in like 2000.
Yeah, very much so.
There's so much more access to like language and explanations of cultural references than there ever was at the time. And it's something I find, it's something I find really interesting how that's kind of changed.
Yeah, the history of localization is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I hate when people are like, oh, they changed this line, therefore it's bad, because I'm like, you don't get it. You don't understand.
Yeah. Like, there are obviously cases where things are lost. Like, we're not denying that. But also, like, they sometimes do complain about things that so very much keep the spirit and is just the best thing you could do for localization, whereas keeping it one-to-one would be worse.
Yeah. I mean, like, even the, Ace Attorney comparison, like, they changed all the names because they wanted the jokes to still make sense, because the jokes with the names are, like, 60% of the game's sense of humor. Like...
Yeah.
Like, it was an important decision.
Super necessary.
Yeah, a lot of them are, like, very necessary for context. Like, they're just not gonna hit the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, even the stutter itself, like, I think something that I would have preferred translated differently was, like, the line about their illness, and, like, I think really, really sick understates the meaning of the line, which is about being on the verge of death. But then you have this fucking perfect localization with root beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was, right in front of me. Sorry, we really like talking about localization. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point. And then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. It's so cool and awesome, Yubi. Literally, I could talk about localization for hours, and I could talk about pork for years.
It's really, like, especially having done, like, a very, very small amount of, like, casual translation work myself, like, doing any amount of that, you're suddenly like, oh my god, this is so fucking hard. It's so hard to do well. Like, I constantly am, like, writing footnotes and doing, like, all the things you're not supposed to do as, like, a professional, because I'm just like, I can't, like, I feel like I'm always missing something. I'm like, no, I have to explain the joke here, because I can't, it doesn't translate. And it's so difficult, and it's so cool when it's done really well like this.
Yeah. Again, I love it.
Yeah.
I think something that would have been hilarious, though, is if they didn't change the graphic, but they
just left it
change
green.
The text. Such green. I think it would really add to the apocalypse vibes.
Never seen a root beer that looks like that before. Oh well.
I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. Like, their first thought is that it isn't real, and their second thought is, well, obviously it isn't for me. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You're shaking them. You can have nice things, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd love their radioactive sludge.
This is true. Quark would be all about that.
He always had to carry around the instructions for mixing my radioactive sludge, because if it wasn't just right, I wouldn't eat it.
Yo, you know what Quark would fucking love?
What?
The dessert food, it goes by many names, but Cup of Dirt with gummy worms.
Yes, I've talked about this before. Guys, they love Cup of Dirt so much. They'd fucking tear through a Cup of Dirt.
Worms in the dirt. I had like a phase for like a couple of months where I would just like make some at home every now and again. Like I would just buy gummy worms and pudding and Oreos, and I gotta get back into that honestly, because it's it holds up. It holds up.
In Cork's honor, because
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they literally adore it. You cannot introduce it to them because it'll be all like. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's.
We've discussed this line
Waiting.
before, but I love it so much.
It's so good.
I've always liked the very specific phrasing about it, that it's not that he sounded like an angel in spite of having a gruff voice, that it's very much like that's what's, like, familiar. That's what's so, like, that's Tenmyoji. He sounds like that, and in that moment, like, not in spite of it, but, like, with it and because of it, his gruff voice sounded like an angel's. I really like that.
His gruff voice is angelic because he's their savior, their guardian.
Right.
Like, he, like, to them is, like, in this moment, like, perfect, and his gruffness is part of that. It's what they're used to. It's, like, protective. It is their idea of an angel.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be Tenmyoji if not for that. Like, if he didn't have a gruff voice, it wouldn't be his.
Yeah, that fucking gravel in his throat is an angel to them. Like, if it wasn't there, it wouldn't be as angelic because it wouldn't be their papa.
Yeah.
Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I never tasted anything like root beer before. I feel like I am not doing their voice today. I feel like it is 10 notes off from last time.
I mean, listen, it's not an easy one to do.
This is true. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. Like, their life is so fucking shit, you guys.
Yeah.
And, like, they think, because in this moment, it's this rare moment for them of genuinely recognizing their grandpa's love for them, that they think they're the luckiest kid in the whole world, genuinely.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to say it's not an exaggeration, they aren't being hyperbolic. They really think they're the luckiest kid in the whole world, even though they have been in the child labor mine since 5 years old.
Yeah. I guess it's, like, some of that, too, comes from probably just the feeling of being genuinely, like, looked after and protected in a way that a lot of kids seem not to have been, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Like, that it was rare to have parents generally. I'm sure somebody was looking after the kids, but, like, I have to imagine a lot of them were kind of communally raised.
Yeah.
Like, that if you didn't have parents, like, somebody else was probably looking after you, and it probably wasn't particularly common to be really specifically, like, looked after and loved and cared for by, like, 1 to 2 specific people. And also to be the only kid that those people were looking after.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that they usually cannot feel that love, though, despite that, but now they can, is so special.
Yeah. It's like the first time they're able to internalize it.
Exactly the word I was gonna grab.
Yeah.
Like, they're genuinely recognizing it, because he loves them so unconditionally.
Yeah.
But, like, of course, the way they were raised, they can't recognize that unconditional love is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's something that fascinates me so much, like with their parallels with Kyle. Did I talk about it last week? I think I did.
I think at least a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I won't backtrack too much, but yeah, just the idea of like both of these kids like thinking love is entirely conditional and like the variety of truth to that for their parents.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the idea of, like, them perceiving, again, with varying levels of truth, that they kind of exist for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That they have this kind of duty to fulfill, you know, their purpose, the intention of their existence, whereas with Kyle, that's very genuinely true.
Yeah.
And with Quark,
and it's something he rejects.
Yeah.
Whereas for Quark, it's not true, but they accept it, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's also complicated with Quark because it is...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not...
They do have to work.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's like, it's not like a requirement for Tenmyoji's love, but like it is a requirement for them to have food on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very...
But of course, any brain couldn't differentiate those things, much less a child.
Right. And you know, Quark does seem to have an understanding of like the fact that it's like
necessary.
Out of necessity.
They don't think Tenmyoji's doing it for fun.
Right, exactly. You know, yeah, that Tenmyoji's not like sending Quark off to the child labor mines because he feels like it.
He's not doing it so he can be at home doing nothing.
Right.
Quark knows they're both working.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're not gonna eat that day.
Yeah. And that definitely creates a very complicated feeling towards each other, and I definitely think it shows a lot in Quark, especially when I'm sure Quark is seeing a lot of very conditional love around them, even if it's not Tenmyoji specifically. That's like the world that they live in, I imagine, is very transactional.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a kind of a little bit of an every person for themselves of it all that Quark has internalized just because so many people are like that.
And like the fact that will be shown very strongly later, but like Tenmyoji can't afford to have the patience for them that a child needs developmentally.
Yeah,
he is being harsh on them because, as he will say later, and I'm going to elaborate on 10 trillion times, but he wants them to be able to survive.
Right.
But that kind of mindset does not work for a child's brain, so it gets internalized really horribly.
Yeah.
Lack of patience is seen as a lack of love, because of course it would be.
Yeah. Ugh, it's so...
Ruby. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, it's just so, like, interestingly done.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my god, could you tell I love it? Could you tell I love it? Messages you 3,000 times a day. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Like, oh my god. Smiling. It's like this rare thing from him. And this moment he's smiling because he's spending it with them and getting to give them just a small thing of a normal childhood, of his childhood.
Yeah. It's also hard not to think about the fact that Tenmyoji was once Junpei from Zero Time Dilemma.
Yeah.
and how much of his mindset, like, because he was like in a very hard survival mode, kill your emotions to get through the day kind of mindset for such a long time. And you know, you can I think it enabled him to survive in the environment that he had to survive in on some level, but like you can definitely tell that he's also fought hard to move away from that and to be kinder and softer again, because you know it's what Quark needs, and just as much it's what, you know, he kind of needed to learn how to do again.
Yeah, exactly.
Junpei's such a cool fucking character.
He's so awesome. I love him so much across all 3 games. It's so interesting, the journey he takes.
Yeah, he's such a, for how much he changes, he's such a consistent character.
It totally makes sense why he turns out like how he does in every circumstance. None of it feels contrived or anything. Like,
Right.
definitely when CTD first came out, people really hated emo Junpei. Like,
Yeah.
he was like the butt of like every fandom joke. People did not get it, but I feel like, though I still see the takes, sometimes I feel like opinion has really changed.
Yeah. I think it's like just a little bit much, but like Junpei always has been kind of a lot.
He's a bit of a dramatic boy.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I could see him throwing himself that hard into something.
Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He'd bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but had never tasted root beer. What a line.
Yeah.
It's also, like, so good. Like, again, in this moment, they can think about, like, having that biological connection isn't what's important to them. It's having their grandpa.
Yeah, it's such a poignant, like, concise definition of like the unconditional love that people associate with family, like the idea of, you know, a person needs unconditional love like that, especially a kid, but in like that's such a crisp, concise definition of like what that really means is like, it's not about having a mother, it's about someone who will buy you a root beer float. Like, that's...
Yeah, because I'm gonna talk about this for 2 hours, but yeah, socially, what we're taught is, like, that's what the idea of a mother is. Like, your mother is this idea of unconditional love.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, other members of family or community aren't, that's not what they're taught they socially are, but what you're told is that mothers unconditionally love their children. They are that figure, they are the representation of unconditional love and taking care of you. So, like,
which is hilarious.
Yes. Oh boy. Like, oh boy. But yeah, so when you don't have that, looks at my therapy appointments, like, it's something where, like, your experience clashes so much with this so deeply ingrained and enforced social idea that, like, no matter how much you know, the idea, of course, cannot be right. Like, it fucks with you of, like, why is something here broken?
Yeah.
But Quark in this moment, like, are rejecting this idea that it is a mother who is the only thing that can provide unconditional love and care. It's whoever buys you a root beer float.
Yeah. It's like such a perfect symbol of of just like all of that. Like fitting like all of that into like one sentence was so, I guess 2 sentences, but like that they were able to get all of that across so clearly in such a concise span of time is just so fucking good.
And like in a way an 8-year-old would say and see it, which I think really adds to it, and like
yeah,
the kind of unique insight they can have, and also how impressive it is to be able to reach that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. I also just love that as a little ring hands again. Sorry. I love that as just like a little characterization detail of like, yeah, Quark's a tiny bit of a little snot, though brag.
Yeah. It's such like a kid thing to do though. Like it's so
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially after that kid was a prick, like, you know what? Get his ass, Quark.
I got root beer, idiot. You might have a mom and not need to work and be able to eat 3 meals a day, but I got a root beer.
Does your mom buy you root beer?
And I do the Ransona pose. So, Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. Like, already, we are starting off truly miserable. Like,
yeah.
Getting yelled at in general is scary. Getting yelled at by someone inebriated is very, very scary, especially for a child.
And also, the way that Quark puts it, it sounds like that was a stranger, which is like not somebody that they knew.
Yeah, some old drunk guy.
Which is like I guess, like, getting yelled at by somebody you know and getting yelled at somebody you don't know are two very different kinds of scary.
Different kinds of scary, yeah.
Yeah, but I do feel like...
But it's still a very particular kind of scary.
Yeah, and I feel like with a stranger in this sort of environment, there is a sort of air of genuine threat to it that, like, there's not...
Yeah, there is actual danger.
Yeah.
Especially alone, because we know their grandpa isn't with them in this moment.
Right.
And then, like, tearing one of their shoes is just a genuine fucking occupational hazard. And...
yeah, enjoy tetanus.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, the repair it will take and, like, the materials and time that'll take, because surely they have to repair it themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So truly, like, again, even at a base level, these two things are really awful, but you take in all of the factors and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. Like, that's... oh my fucking
god. The fucking Bluebird lamentation.
Start. Don't you start with Bluebird lamentation. Fuck. Like, you know, oh my god, fuck you, fuck you.
This game sucks.
I hate this game. Delete it right now. But, like, again, them only not finding anything useful, genuine, probably will not be able to eat that night.
Yeah.
Like, that is, in fact, dire. Fuck.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Bluebird lamentation.
They really know exactly when to use it to just, like, stab you 15 times in the chest.
Uh-huh.
Every time it comes in, I'm always like, go to hell, I hate you, get out of here.
You're the worst.
Who invited you?
It's so effective. I admire you so much, but I need you dead.
Ugh.
When I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I brought back, explaining why they were all useless. Like, they very directly take this at calling them useless and therefore unlovable, and it's so... Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I can so clearly imagine that she's going through, like, each individual item and them getting more and more devastated.
Yeah.
I got really mad and just yelled, I don't care!
Hello, welcome in.
Hi, it's Shurkan.
Yeah. No one here would know anything about that.
None of us know anything about that shut up bird lamentation.
Yeah.
And he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. Oh my god, the fact that this is their mindset
Yeah.
is so devastating and says so much about their general mindset. That the person who loves them so much that they think he'd do that.
Yeah.
Also, tell me if my cry voice is too incomprehensible. I will tone it down if needed.
Okay.
I do really get into it with voice acting.
Yeah.
After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building. But by then, I started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop.
Something I'm not sure I've considered before is that, like, in the... I can't say this for sure, but, like, if we're still in a situation where the sky looks like that, rain is probably not awesome to have...
Be in.
Yeah, it's probably not, like, actively dangerous, but, like, I would assume it's like an exposure over time thing where it's like you probably want to be in the rain as little as possible, ideally.
Yeah. I'm sure it is not the same as our rain.
Yeah. Something is up with it, I think is fair to say.
Yeah. Oh my god, just that they went to run and hide in an abandoned building is so, like, dear God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about this part for 5 hours alone, okay? But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. Like, the emotional clarity there is really, really interesting for, like, a 7, 8, or 9-year-old. I usually assume 8 because of the timing, but it's not clear whether... I suppose it could also technically be 10, but I really, really don't get that vibe that it was very recent.
Yeah, I don't think this was within the past year.
Yeah. But I think that, like, really interesting, like, emotional clarity that, like, I'm not even sure I'd have, like, this soon after a fight.
Yeah. And even just, like, as, to be thinking in those kind of terms as a 10-year-old as well is also, like, to be able to, like, think back on it and to, you know, admit, how do I put this? To be able to, you know, admit their part in it without any sort of, like, external pressure to admit their part in it is something that I feel like, from my life experience, from my life experience, 10-year-olds are not especially apt to do.
Yeah, I would agree. So I just think a really interesting moment. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. Thank you, Rico.
Hi, Rico.
This is true. I imagine Grandpa coming to get me. Like, oh my god, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, they were actively fantasizing, imagining their grandpa coming to get them, and, like, really, like, I think it represents, like, taking care of them, like, taking these adult burdens off of them, like, I think it's really represented that, like, the idea of trudging back on their own, representing everything, like their work, the need to apologize for this, like everything kind of adult weighing on them, like they wanted their grandpa to take care of, they were imagining it. You want him to do that and it kills me.
Yeah.
It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first, I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved. I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. The fact that they fought to ignore it makes me think this is not an infrequent occurrence, by the way.
Yeah, that there's just people, like, in pain, starving, etc., like, on... Yeah, it really gives a strong impression of the world.
It really fucking does. Like, you would just have to ignore it and keep going.
Yeah.
He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. He went out looking for them right away. In the rain. He's old.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it seems like he, like, fainted from...
Yeah.
You know, some level of sickness, pain, exhaustion.
Yeah. I always imagined him, like, slipping in mud and, like, kind of hitting his head a little bit. But, like, it could be anything. No matter what, it is not good. I don't think he sat down there to take a little breather.
No.
I think his body made him one way or another.
Yeah, him slipping and not being able to get up checks out, I would say. That does make sense.
Yeah. Like, again, either way, same meaning of...
Yeah.
He did not choose to be on the ground right now.
Yeah, because I know he's not that old, but I also know that, like, you don't have to be that old for getting up to be strenuous. And I can't imagine his, like, bone and muscle health is awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, his age health-wise, I think he is not what we think of when we think of a 68-year-old.
Yeah.
With all the alcoholism and apocalypse conditions.
And is not getting regular medical attention, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
like, they have a doctor,
so...
but, like, I think a lot of the doctors are more like medics. Like, they are... If there's something wrong with you, they can do things, but, like, I don't think people are getting physicals.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's had a blood panel in a hot minute. Like...
Yeah, hot, around 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. This was his first thought.
Mm.
He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. I'd been out in the rain looking for me for so long that he'd collapsed. I was horrible. Like, that they internalize that as them being horrible, that, like, it is their own morality. They are fundamentally horrible because of this.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. That too, of like, they're giving themselves the same expectation that they have of him. They think they should be like equals in that regard when they shouldn't.
Yeah, like sort of thinking in terms of like I should be able to do everything for him that he's done for me, which is not how a parent and child relationship works.
Yeah, like that they have the same level of responsibility to each other, and that's not true, but they
Yeah.
don't realize that.
Yeah. And it's like on some level it is true that for both of them, like they're kind of the only person that each other seems to have.
For
And
sure.
so I think like on some level the worst part is like some of Quark's thinking isn't entirely unfounded. It's fucked up, but they're not wrong about everything, or they're not completely wrong about everything. And that I think
Yeah,
like
exactly. It's how it should be versus how it is. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be as equally responsible to each other as they are. But they are. They both need to provide for food on the table so both of them can get food.
Yeah, they both kind of have to look out for each other, especially as Tenmyoji gets older. You know, there's a level of caretaking that's
So
going to be
horrific
necessary.
to pick up for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's just
God.
ugh.
As I ran to get the doctor, promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float again. Ever again. That's them promising to give up happiness and childhood and joy. Like, that's what a root beer represents to them, and they want to give it up for their grandpa.
Yeah.
He got a real bad fever. His temperature wouldn't go down for days. Doctors said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, and I'd be all alone. Oh my god. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. Like, those lines, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck those lines so bad. They're the most important lines in the world to me, and fuck them so bad.
Yeah.
If he died, then I'd be all alone. Like, just that. Truly, he is the only one, and they'd be alone, and that's so fundamentally wrong because their name is Quark.
Ugh.
And there wouldn't be anybody left to care about me is such a devastating thing for this child to think, because they need to be cared about.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What happening terrified me. terrifies them, Josh. Fuck, I said I wouldn't apologize, but that was last stream. I got a new apology allowance counter. I'm so sorry, guys, for taking so much time with this, but, like, gestures.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I must pass some of my luck onto Grandpa, because a week later, his fever finally broke. Can you imagine that fucking hell week for them?
Yeah, that's a long time. Especially when you're that age. A week is like a million years. Especially a week where you're scared and stressed. Like, that's a long time.
Of your guardian, your family dying, and not only that, but they need to completely take care of themselves. He is unconscious.
Yeah.
They are doing everything he had to do for them, for themselves, while also definitely, like, checking in as much as possible, but, like...
Yeah.
You know, cooking every single one of their own meals, taking care of everything in the house, and working.
Yeah.
Truly kills me.
Yeah.
I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? I just gesture again to all of their insecurity. So insecure. You're insecure. Don't know what for.
Man.
Fuck, can we get banned for that?
Yeah, that was definitely
this.
that was definitely close enough to the official recording to get us DMCA'd.
Oh, for sure. My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Like the stream right now.
We're back. We're so back.
My brain just stopped. Picture of Nova.
No thoughts, only Nova.
Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. God, they invented a parent who apologizes, y'all.
Honestly, yeah, that's how you know that this is fiction.
Yeah, science fiction. Most unrealistic part is your escape of my immersion is broken.
Sorry.
This CG. Tears in the corner of his eyes, y'all.
God damn it, Nova. Sorry,
No, we're kind of having a moment here.
I accidentally yanked the headphones out of the computer, and then when I was getting back into setup, I fucked everything up. It's fine. We're back.
He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. Like, Josh.
Yeah.
He is looking at what he thought was necessary for how he acted, what he thought was in their best interest, but he realized it wasn't. He realized he was going too far with it.
Yeah, that he'd been too much of that. Cold isn't really the right word, but he'd been too close to his, like, cold, just trying to survive kind of version of himself, that he was on some level, like, falling back into that habit, and his ability to recognize that and, you know, to actually acknowledge it and tell Quark that he'd been wrong about that was really... It's such a Junpei thing. Certified Junpei moment.
Junpei moments, and to know that that's not what they needed, because as UB said, they are only this many years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally a baby, and he realized he was messing them up, that again, he thought this is what they needed to survive, but he realized that he wasn't giving them a soft place to land. He wasn't giving them room enough to be the child that they are, that his expectations were too high. God.
Man.
It all really was genuinely what he thought was best, but he genuinely reconciled with the fact that it isn't what's best.
Which, again, insane fantasy writing that they've done here.
Literally no parent has ever fucking done this.
No. Admitted that what they thought was best was not, in fact, what's best. I've never heard of that happening.
Literally, can you fucking imagine?
And myself and everyone I know come from the most normal and well-adjusted families you've ever heard of, so...
All of us here surely have had such normal lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we're on the internet all the time.
Yeah, that's why we're the perfect benchmark by which to judge the fact that this has never happened, and it's really such a beautiful piece of aspirational writing.
Mm-hmm. Wish fulfillment.
Yeah, exactly.
All of the things I've been worried about had been stupid and selfish. Guys, in 50 streams when Junpei calls himself stupid and selfish, y'all are gonna hear me screaming.
Ugh.
You could Quark picked up that verbiage from him, like, dear God. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out in the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. The fact that they definitely shoved down a lot of their emotions and upsetment.
Yeah.
Now those dams are bursting.
Man.
But he just smiled and patted my head.
Adrian is not currently here. He might be home later. He's out for a thing at this exact moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had an obligation that he is unable to miss, but he might be here. I think, like, if we're still running at like 4 or 5, which we probably will be, he said he'll be here around then.
Yeah. So maybe coming back, may not, but yeah, he is not nap mode right now. He is family mode.
Yeah.
I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." You like my impression of him? I think it's really good. God.
On paper. My impression of his handwriting.
Right back with your rating, Mr. Sigma, on a scale of 0 to 5 stars. God, you said of course not. He told me, and the fact that, like, he was surprised about it, like, he didn't know they were dealing with this.
Yeah.
He never questioned, like, them knowing that he loved them. He thought that it would always be clear to them, but he didn't make it clear because of their circumstances and because he's definitely emotionally constipated in some ways, like... God.
Yeah. It's such an interesting take on... I've never liked the trope where a kid feels like their parent hates them, but the parent is proven later to actually they loved you all along. Just because I feel like it's often
for sure.
done really poorly, and I find this to be
one often the parent has indeed not shown their love.
Right. Yeah, it's always like the parent never did anything to express love or care for the child, and the kid was very much legitimate in their feeling unloved by the parent, but it's actually all okay, and the kid's not, just being ungrateful because actually the parent did love them. I find this to be a much more nuanced and much more interesting idea of that core. It still technically falls under that, but it's a much clearer exploration of like what that could actually look like.
Where they were in a horrible circumstance that he couldn't control.
Right.
He genuinely couldn't control the amount of time he spends with them.
Yeah.
And he thought he was doing what was better in the long run, but realized it isn't the case and is gonna do work to change that how he can.
Yeah.
And that, again, Quark's mindset is not fully his fault. It is the fault that they had to work since they were 5.
Mm-hmm. Man.
He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back.
Man.
Money. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. Guys, those last 2 lines, chat, like, they're not acknowledging anymore that he's gonna die. They're just like, no, I'm gonna stay with him forever now, and like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's gonna die in a nonary game and certain routes, and oh my god, the fucking, even if he said I couldn't, and they themselves decided they'd stay with him forever, like, oh my god.
It's such a kid way of thinking about it. It has that feeling of children have this concept of invincibility that the truly bad things just won't happen to them. It's not just kids, but it's a very kid way to think about it, that like,
they can make this promise.
Right, and also that it's like Quark's decision and not just time marching on, like that it can just be put off forever. It's so, I don't know, it's very...
deciding that he's just wrong, that they'll be on their own one day.
Yeah. Because
even
that couldn't
if he
possibly
said
happen.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, they're making this decision that, no, I'm just gonna stay with him forever. They don't have this idea of the future as it actually is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're even, like, necessarily thinking of, like, in 10 years they'll be 20 and 10 Miyoshi will be late 20s. I think they're kind of in their head, it's just gonna be like this forever. They aren't actually thinking through time.
Oh, yeah. Because kids don't have a concept of that. Like, they have at best a really vague idea of the future, but like they don't...
Yeah, like when I grow up I'm gonna... Like, I don't think Quark particularly does, especially. And again, even for General, it's just vague. It's not actually like, for most kids, imagining growing up and moving out of your house. Like...
Yeah, because I would imagine the world Quark is growing up in, like, the idea of life stages like that isn't really something that exists. Like, You're not in
Yeah, you aren't
school.
going off to college or going off to a new job.
Right. You're not, moving to the other side of the country to pursue business. Like, you're just what you're doing today
I'm
is
gonna
what
be a
you're.
business manager when I grow up.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so it's very. It makes sense that Quark doesn't have an idea of the future because there kind of is no, like, when I grow up, because there's not going to be a moment where adulthood becomes something meaningfully different from what Quark is already doing. Like, there's
Yeah,
not going to be, like, a transition from one life stage to another. It's kind of just going to be, like, the same shit unless you figure out something more lucrative to do.
Yeah, same shit, but you're taller now.
Yeah.
Won't be true for Quark.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, again, with rare exception, I think you just will do what you've always done. Like, maybe you're gonna be taken in as the Doctor's next apprentice. Maybe. And that's, like, really the biggest move you can make.
Yeah. It's so...
Tenmyoshi and y'all.
Yeah.
That was like an entire hour. I'm so sorry, but I had to cry to y'all about every line.
No, it's good. Like, Adrian's been saying that, like, why the fuck would we have you on?
Yeah.
If that was gonna be an issue.
I hope Adrian can watch this VOD so that they can see just the fucking the Tenmyoshi presentation of it, because this is basically what I do during my Tenmyoshi presentation.
Yeah.
Josh and also like 5 people in chat can confirm.
Yeah. Yeah, Adrian usually he often watches VODs of ours. It's something that, like, I felt, like, weirdly vain doing for a while, watching our own VODs, but I'm like, nah, it's entertaining. I don't remember most of what I've said.
Good.
So, I forget words that I've said 10 minutes after they come out of my mouth, so it's really, to me, just like, man, these streamers that I watch have the same sense of humor as me. It's crazy.
Yeah, God. Like, genuinely, actually cry every time I go through Tenmyoshi End.
There's just so much there to think about and dig into. It's really... Ugh. I don't blame you.
I think it's particularly unfair because I was raised all my life by my grandparents, so it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, it is. It's very targeted.
It really is so targeted in so many ways I will not elaborate on, but, like, I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, God, I love Zero Escape. It's just so perfect. Tenmyoshi is, like, so near perfectly written.
Yeah.
The themes really do fucking theme.
It's such an intricate game. In how
it's so tightly woven.
Yeah, and how it pulls so many different ideas together like that.
I really fucking love Zero Escape. Like, again, I think the themes of, like, again, throughout, especially I'd say VOR and ZTD, the theme of utility is really, really good. And
Yeah.
it's just woven into so many spots.
Yeah.
Peapod.
And... I really like how they fucking... The credits music fucking gets me, because they start off with this very, like, sweet Morphogenetic Sara rendition, and then it kicks in with the fucking... Like, why? Why the sudden tonal shift?
It's such a choice. Like, are they trying to go from like easing you out of like generally like what Bluebird like kind ease you out of, but then get you excited to go shift again?
Yeah, I don't. It's wild.
3 peepaws on screen. 3 of
Three
them.
peepaws. I was just looking at how characters are grouped in
Yeah.
the flowchart. Because you have sort of it occurred to me that like this is sort of a clone gang situation. I know Luna's not literally a clone, but like emotionally, thematically.
Yeah, like thematically, she's a clone.
And then you have sort of like 999 crew plus Quark, because do not separate them.
Do not separate them.
And then you just sort of have
even
like
just breaking it up, like you could have like Tenmyoshi and Quark and Clover and Alice. Like
yeah, that's true too. Yeah. And of course,
yeah, I guess
absolutely
like,
do not
routes,
separate
the
these two. Yeah. I think groups of three was just how I instinctively looked at it by doors. But yeah, you're right that they also kind of keep paired characters together like that.
Yeah.
And it sort of emphasizes like it's interesting that it emphasizes that like these three kind of don't have anybody compared to like these six who all do have their, you know, different types of pairs, but like they are very much like do not separate them.
Yeah. Or these Luna, K, and Dio, while they have their thematic relations, are like isolated. And again, particularly for Kyle and Luna, that's interesting because like they should be paired, but Kyle rejected that.
Yeah.
They were literally, Luna was literally made to be his person, but he rejected her. I think that's really something.
Yeah. I do sometimes wonder if Kyle's rejection of Luna is... Obviously, he cites it as being that she's not a real person, and he was kind of disgusted with the idea of being expected to act like she was. But I do also think about on the level of, like... I'm sure there was some degree of, like, him seeing himself in that Luna was made for a purpose to fill a role, and he was, like... He took it out on her. Okay, Luna is a real person. I'm just saying from his point of view, he did not consider her to be a real person, and that was his rejection of her. I agree that Luna is a person with, you know, whatever idea of a soul that you might have. Like she, I just meant he rejected her on the grounds that he didn't consider her a person. Whether or not that's true or a fair assessment, that is the thing that he says. But yeah, that he... The fact that her perceived lack of humanity was something he was so repulsed by, I think reflects that he also was struggling to see himself as human in... in that same kind of sense, because on some level he was also created for a purpose. Quite literally made in a lab to be a part of something that you know was so much bigger than him and that he didn't have any say in. And yeah, I think on some level his disgust with Luna was a disgust with his own situation that he was kind of externalizing.
He has to take it out on someone else.
Yeah.
And, trust me, I am gonna bawl at Luna, and I always do.
Luna End is so fucking good.
I care about her so much. She's so interesting and amazing and deserves so much more than the lot she was given and made for.
I could talk for 5,000 hours about Luna specifically, but also Luna's relationship to Kyle and her feelings towards Diana and that sort of duality. And the, you know, not only the fact that she's a robot, but the fact that she's a robot that was made to be a copy of somebody else who she's never met and whom she isn't very much like.
Yeah, I think their differences are so fascinating.
Yeah, like you meet Diana and you see how Luna happened, but it's also like Luna is very much a rose-tinted view of Diana that I find
Yeah.
so fascinating. Like
Yeah, I was gonna
Luna,
say, you really get the impression of how Luna is programmed after Diana had died and after Sigma had spent time without her with only his memories of her.
yeah, she was built to be this facsimile of the way that you remember somebody you loved. Like
Yeah,
which is so different from the full picture of that and that person. And so, I mean, because you get kind of from Sigma's perspective too, like, is it right to program Diana's flaws in? The things that are
yeah.
wrong with her as a person, like, would that have been right, or would that have also been kind of fucked up to do? Like, it's so, Luna's such an interesting question of identity, not even strictly in the,
Mhm.
can robot be people sort of sense, because I feel like that's been done by a number of things, but also like, who is Luna?
Yeah. And yeah,
um,
I absolutely remember it being because it hits. And yeah, agreed because I fucking love the Golem discussion. Literally, getting that shit in middle school was so interesting because I would just like afterwards be sitting in church because I was still made to go to church and think about like automatic responses and like
mm,
try to catch myself in them, like scratching your head and shit like that. Like the thought fascinated 12-year-old me so much.
yeah, it's a very interesting it's a very interesting idea to consider the way that they frame it.
By the way, do not play Zero Escape Virtues as the reward as a middle schooler.
That seems like a terrible idea.
It was. Yo, let's betray the baby.
Hereabouts? Are we doing
Oh,
the?
were we doing it all in one stream
Yeah, I think
after?
we were gonna have our bad end stream where we just fuck everything up a
Okay.
million times.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think we leave this one be for now.
No
Um,
betraying the baby.
yeah. And then this one was a different bad end, I think,
Yeah.
if memory serves. This one we
Yes.
can't do yet. Clover time.
Clover time.
Certified.
I do not know the exact order you did anymore, so I just have to trust you.
Yeah, I fucking every day I click outside of the thing. I don't remember the. Whoops. Oh, I've done it again. This
December 25th, 2028.
this thing that I always do.
Yeah.
Adrian
I
remembers my
love
order
that
better than I
question
do.
always. I'd say yes.
I mean, if we're talking the thing about, God damn it, the thing about that is that like it really depends on what the robot does with the memories, because I do think that memories
Mm,
make up a great deal of a person, but there's still like the way that a person would react. There's a certain amount of nature and nurture that a robot wouldn't have just from having strictly your memories.
mm-hmm.
And we still don't know what consciousness is.
Yeah.
But we don't, thus far, we don't have technology that can be conscious. And there's quite a number of people who believe that it's just strictly not possible and we're never going to have technology that's conscious. And I don't think something that isn't conscious can be like a person with an identity. Like the idea of like
Yeah.
a robot that's capable of being a person is a really interesting sci-fi thought experiment, but it's hard for me not to think of it in terms of reality, where as far as like where the technology is, most people don't think that that's ever going to be even remotely a possibility.
Hmm. But I have two things with this that I find like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of if the robot has your memories, whether or not it has true consciousness, I think it would still identify as you. It would recognize itself as being Josh.
Mm.
And, like, so who are we to deny that of it?
Yeah. I guess it's also though like a robot can't do anything that we don't tell it to do. Like if it had my
Hmm.
memories, that doesn't mean that it knows it's me. It just means that it remembers the things that I remember. You would still like
Hmm.
I know that like the thought experiment is an interesting idea, but I also can't get past like the actual technology of it all. And I think it's just because of
Yeah.
the state of the world that we live in surrounding technology now,
Hmm.
especially like stuff like AI, where it's like a lot of people talk about it and have no fucking clue how it actually works.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always just like thinking thinking on thinking in those terms. My instinct is constantly to be like, well, the technology doesn't do that, well, the technology doesn't work like that, like
Hmm.
that's always my first instinct. So it's like, yeah, and yeah, exactly, like putting your memories into a robot would be an archive of your memories, but yeah, you'd still have to make it behave in the ways that you behave. Like technology won't do things
Hmm.
on its own.
Yeah. I do also think another interesting part, and like y'all are already like convincing me otherwise, but like in my original argument, I think my answer, though there's no true reason for it to have been, would have been different if it was copying without removal from, like, copying without removal. Like, if it was
Yeah.
copied, but I still existed with my own memories, I'd say, no, that's not me, even though it would be, the
What's the
robot itself would be the same. So
There's a
I do think
game
that's
that
just something
does
like
that.
my brain could not contend with.
Is it Soma? Is that the game that does that? There's a game where there's a couple points in the plot where your consciousness is like basically replicated into something else and your original body is killed. And it's
Mm,
a question of like, what do you as your consciousness experience? Because there's like one version of you that like will remember everything continuously, that like you went to sleep and woke up in the new body. It's like the
mm-hmm.
transporter pods from Zero Time Dilemma.
Yeah.
But then there's like one version of you that still goes on, and like if you kill that person, the original person, does that make it a single continuous experience of like your consciousness jumping into the new body versus, a fork in the road where one of you gets to stay alive and one of you doesn't. um
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I mean, and again, it's like it's something that we will never actually be able to do probably. So it's like it's an interesting thought experiment, but I can't turn off the part of my brain that wants to think about the practical aspect of it.
Yeah. I think in my part of the thought experiment, I was like supplying for this thought experiment is in
Yeah.
a world where it could be, but I
Yeah.
totally get like both perspectives of like what you're taking into a thought experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I think like ultimately it's a question we don't have an answer to, which is like, what are you?
Hmm. And that's why it's
What
such
is
an
anybody?
interesting thought experiment. If
Yeah.
we had an answer, it wouldn't be as interesting.
Yeah, because I think I can't let go of the idea of like you can't move your consciousness somewhere else. You can move your memories and the decisions that you would make and all of that, but like past a certain point, is that different from like what people are doing now, where like they feed somebody's voice and a bunch of things they've said into like an AI generator and like generate shit that that person would say theoretically. I'm like, isn't that the same thing basically as like uploading your memory into a robot and it acts like you?
Mm.
that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, it's a facsimile of you, if anything.
Yeah.
But it depends on what consciousness is, which we don't know.
And I also think that, like, there are just parts of my actual body that I think are important to my identity. Like, my disability, like, important to how I identify, and my robot would not have that physical disability. So it's like, I don't know if I could say I'd be the same person without it, but like, if like I wouldn't want to be magically cured, but if I was, like, I'd still say, like, in that consciousness, yeah, of course I'm the same person, but I'm not the same.
Right, right. And I think the fact that the thought experiment hinges on the original being like wiped, so to speak, I think is a part of it. Like, yeah, humans are complicated machines, and like I know we're chemicals and neurons firing, but there still is this ineffable thing that we don't understand, which is like consciousness and awareness that a machine cannot do. A machine that is created by humans can't do that, and we're not sure it will ever be able to do that. And that, I think, is like part of that is the thing that makes you you, and you can't move that out of the body into something else. You can replicate a million billion other things, but there is shit that a human mind can do and can conceptualize that a computer is not capable of. And that, I think, is that's kind of the catching point for me, where yes, from the outside things might look the same. It's like the Chinese room. Also, hi Astro, thank you for the raid. Welcome in.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't sure they would. Hello.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would actually get to the end of VLR, because I didn't see how much you had left, but like,
yeah,
damn.
Congrats. So, like, from looking at your flowchart, I didn't think it would be possible, but you fucking did it. Congrats.
Yeah, also, is Astro actually
Like
listening?
Story.
We're not talking about ZTD shit at this exact moment, so they can be here and listen. Okay.
Hi.
Hi. How did you enjoy Old Man Sigma? How was that for you?
How was literally everything?
How was everything?
Yeah. Right now we're just talking about the Chinese room, even though we're nowhere near the Chinese room right now.
Yeah.
Because we're like this.
Yeah. Astro, I'm sure that your lovely chat went and told you about many of the hints that they dropped, but I'll never be over the fact that in the first, like, 10 minutes of Virtue's Last Reward, Fi says, "Back off, Grandpa." It's one of my favorite fucking twists that they get away with. It's incredible.
It's wonderful.
He's Termite Man. It was him all along.
You were Termite.
It's so... There's so much that is just beautifully contextualized by that. I love Virtue's Last Reward.
I love Virtue's Last Reward so much. Astro, you can't go back and watch the VODs yet, but you just missed my collective probably 3 hours of talking about Tenmyoji End as we went through it.
Yeah.
An hour here and 2 hours last stream, I think.
Yeah. We can be good about ZTD for this stream if Astro wants to hang out. I totally get it if you need to, like,
happily.
go decompress elsewhere. Like, if you're not up for sticking around, that's totally fine. But, like, I'm also good with... We don't talk a lot about ZTD in this game anyway. Like, I was talking about Diana for a bit, but, like, you can...
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to.
I don't see much reason it's gonna come up in
Yeah.
Clover End.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're doing...
Have good food.
Yeah, enjoy. We were...
For now, we need to...
We just finished Tenmyoji End, and now we're gonna pop along to the extremely fun, quirky, casual Clover End, where nothing bad ever happens. Yeah, ZTD's a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely understandable that you would not.
Unrecommendable.
It's
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Yeah, don't worry. So you can watch the VODs, and again, it'll be the effect of getting my Tenmyoshian presentation. Everything I do in my presentation, I went over here pretty much. So
yeah,
when you watch the VODs, you can.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did finger guns. It just felt right.
Yeah. I've played ZTD a few times, but that's mainly because I have an iron stomach when it comes to that sort of horse shit. But it's like, and it does get funnier every time I play it again, because it's sort of less harrowing and more just like, wow, they really did make this game this way.
Yeah.
But, like, she's a lot, and I definitely, I don't know if you intend to stream it, Astro, but if nobody has given you the content warnings, it would be good to know about them.
Yes, Josh has a document, and they are extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, not to say that, like, it is, like, a stream-friendly game. Like, you can, there's no, like, it's not so bad that you can't stream it, but I'm like, if anything might, like, jump scare you on stream, I know that's a weird thing to deal with. Just, like, processing live on the air.
Yeah.
But, yeah, thankfully, it's not super long. I know when Adrian and I did it, it was in, like, 3 or 4 streams.
Yeah, it's super short.
It's like probably half the length of 999.
We joke about VLR's budget, but truly ZTD's budget.
ZTD had to be crowdfunded by the fandom.
Like, genuinely.
And that's not even a joke.
We genuinely crowdfunded it.
Yeah.
For real, we had to genuinely beg the company. We genuinely had a project to beg the company.
I'm gonna have to one of these days actually look into, like, what Project Bluebird was, because I wasn't there, obviously, but I've heard, like, the whispers that, like, we literally would not have ZTD if Project Bluebird didn't campaign so hard for it.
Yeah, no, I am genuinely certain of that. The fandom literally had to campaign to get ZTD to exist, and look what happened. We shouldn't have.
That's why every time Ace Attorney fans want a 7th game and beg Capcom for it, I'm like, I don't think you understand what you're asking for.
Look at what it did to us.
Zero Escape fans begged for it to get a 3rd game, and what we got was fucking Zero Time Dilemma.
Like, you know, I somewhat hate to do the, oh, you don't know what real suffering is, but, like, truly there is a difference
Ace Attorney fans are weak.
Waited and campaigned for ZTD versus having played all of them in a row of the level of punched in the gut you are.
Literally. I also love when Ace Attorney fans bitch about their characters' 3D models looking bad, because I'm like, you don't know what we've been through. You don't even know.
Look at VLR. Grabs you. Look at VLR.
VLR and ZTD both look so ass.
In different wonderful ways.
So... By the way, I rag on ZTD so much, but, like, as I said, I fucking love it, honestly.
Same.
If you go into it,
Luna's meat hair.
like Astro, you've just finished VLR. You probably have a lot of questions, and I'm here to tell you that Zero Time Dilemma will answer half of them if you're lucky. But
yeah, you know how it promises to answer all of them? It's literally lying.
Yeah, you know how Akane looks directly into the camera and is like, if you play the next game, all things will make sense. It won't. But it does some things really well, and it's honestly, like, it's just really funny. If you go into it with the mindset that it's, like, it's not very good, but it is hilarious, and there are some genuinely really good moments in there, The characterizations are a little all over the place, but like some of them really are phenomenal. There are some really good characters in there. Like,
yeah, there are so many things genuinely worth talking about from it.
yeah, it's just that like there are bisexuals. This is very true.
Yes.
I'm glad somebody has told you that there's bisexuals, because that's true. And they're insane, and they're killing each other to death. But it's fine.
Oh, so yeah, I know this is a bit up, but yes, play the other fucking Ace Attorney games.
Literally.
I'm gonna be able to keep playing Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright soon. I
so
know I
glad.
only got through chapter 1, but I'm gonna be able to continue soon. My volunteer shit is mostly done, and I have been recovering. And I still need a little more recovery time.
Understandable. I'm so excited. You are going to have such an appreciation of that game, Grace.
Oh, that is so exciting to hear.
I truly think, because it has, like, people give it shit for the ending being kind of a little bit rushed and a little bit stupid, but I'm like, I think you will see the vision and you will understand in the way that I understood. I think,
I
like...
have been forged by Zero Escape.
Exactly. I'm like, I think you are going to appreciate what they're doing. Astro, I'm so glad you like VLR.
Like the VLR is a statement for me. I know you have not seen my Zero Escape account for good reason. It is full of spoilers, but Tuck's hair.
Grace is perhaps the CEO of liking VLR, and I hate declaring anybody like the in charge of liking anything, but like Grace has earned it. Grace has put in the hours.
I have, again, that 1.5 hour to 2 hour Tenmyoshi presentation. I DM you be a truly unconscionable amount of times about Zero Escape every day, and particularly VLR. And just all of my tweets are about VLR. I have, like, probably a collective dozen or so 999 and ZTD tweets, even though I love them, whereas all my others are about VLR.
Yeah.
It's okay. I won't die.
The thing is, Yubi, for how specific the situation for that line is, it is infinitely quotable. Go on, shoot me. Don't worry, I won't die.
Mom.
Zero Time Dilemma is one of the most iconic games ever made. That's the thing that, like, it's not brilliantly made, but it's probably the one I think about the most. Because it's like...
It's really a worm in the brain.
It will do something to your brain chemistry.
I mean, not to mention Zero's true motives.
That's the other thing, too. Zero Time Dilemma is kind of worth it for the 2-minute long YouTube poop that you can watch when you finish it.
Yes. That is the only reason I would recommend ZTD, besides all of the other good parts, is that after you watch it, you can watch Zero's true motives of YouTube poop on youtube.com.
And then you can finally understand. I still quote Zero's true motives all the fucking time.
Literally.
Because it's just so... I'm brother, lol.
You are a shitter. Like, okay. We will not get into it, but dear God.
We're in dangerous territory.
The decision's yours.
High five.
High five.
Or betray.
Fi, my favorite.
These have been funny.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, Astro, I can finally tell you that for like 90% of this game, I was convinced that Fi was a golem. And that's my iconic VLR theory that I was really confidently wrong about for a long time. I reference it often, just my redacted VLR theory, my Fi is a golem moment.
Yeah.
Fi watching you stare into space for 40 minutes, that would happen to both of them.
Yeah, Joe thinking about the Chinese room and ZTD and ZTD and ZTD.
And that last moment before the counter reached 0. Well, wait. This would be you, Grace, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I was the sexy lady in Sigma's head.
Yeah. The beautiful woman who says all of...
canon for What You Missed by not being here is so Josh doesn't have to talk literally the whole time. Adrian and I switch off being Sigma's like narration thoughts.
Yeah.
But I cannot fucking do a Sigma voice for narration for that long. Like, if it was dialogue, I could do, hey, yeah, sure, I'm Sigma or whatever. But I
Yeah.
cannot fucking do that for the narration. So, we headcanon that he needs a sexy lady in his head narrating his thoughts, or he won't pay attention.
Oh, finally we can say old man
so-
Yowie.
In my last moment before the count reached 0, I made my choice. Also, I don't like put on a sexy voice, I just think I'm sexy.
Yeah.
It's just true.
Time to betway.
Hell yeah.
Round 1 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you.
Oh yeah, now you know who this funny lady is.
Participation. Yeah, they really did just straight up have probably Cindy Robinson do the same Akane voice for this.
Ambidex gates now opening.
As Fine I stepped out of the AV room, I could see the others running toward the projection, shoving and pushing to get closer. Tenmyoji was left behind, his footsteps a slow, heavy plod.
Oh yeah, because we did like just find the body before this, right?
Yeah, we just found the body,
That was sort of a recent.
took her to the infirmary, screamed for a little while, then had to go back.
Yeah, yeah. She's fine.
What had happened to make him like that?
What indeed?
Normal
Chose betray,
things.
Huh? That's messed up.
What? You said I should.
Hey, I didn't say that. I just asked you a question. What would happen to our BP if Tenmyoji chose to betray us?
She's such a fucking contrarian.
I literally love her. She's on Reddit.
5 fucking sucks. I'm obsessed with her.
She's the worst. Literally, it's such good characterization.
She's the worst, and that's why she's one of my top 3 favorite characters in this game.
She sucks in such a real way of this is someone I know and hate, but because she's a video game character, I love her.
Yeah. It was a leading question. Oh, I get it. I was wondering why you were so happy to let me choose after you lost in rock, paper, scissors. You were planning to use me as a scapegoat all along.
Was I?
Which is explicitly true, by the way.
Yeah.
She does that, I think, on another choice, where, Sigma's like, or she's like, sorry we betrayed, and Sigma's like, no, I betrayed, and she's like, oh, right. Yeah,
it
fuck
was
Sigma.
And you're like, hey, you're just supposed to say that. It was us both. And yeah, exactly. You'd be, I hate Sigma.
Yeah, this is true, yeah. That's the thing, Fi is completely justified because it's Sigma we're talking about.
Entirely.
God damn it.
Yo, what's
What's up?
What's up?
Siggy!
Yeah.
Hello!
I know.
Hey, what are
You
kids
dudes
doing
up
over
there.
We're about to announce the results.
I love. I was so glad, Astro, that you immediately know just how special this is.
Fucking however many takes of this same line. No, this line you hear just like 6 times. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other one, the parent solo assignments hop around a bit too. That gets read in 7 different ways for no reason. Because it gets read one way and
Yeah.
then Sigma remembers it 6 different ways. Yeah,
Anyway,
Lagomorph is
We
great.
need to go have a look at the results first. Come on.
Hey, wait!
Spike
Shit.
Tunesoft told us we needed our next 0 to be more marketable. So,
Monokuma
who
wants
the
what
fuck is
Lagomorph
Spike
has.
Tunesoft Akane? Don't even worry about it.
Finally, let's get ready to rock! Amberdex game!
I'm always saying
Literally,
this.
you be.
The results!
Also, like, it's a bunny. How can you not like fucking bunny?
Yeah.
If everybody would please direct their eyes to this monitor.
He literally says every bunny.
He literally says everybody. God, everyone's here.
Yeah, it's always a surprise.
I was like surprised to see so many faces. I'm like, whoa, yeah, Alice is alive for once. For now.
Quark's here.
Yeah, Quark hasn't gone missing yet. It's crazy. Or passed out, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Quark is always falling asleep and going missing.
They need their nap.
Alice is always dying.
From your game.
I hate it when girls die.
Now,
My heart.
let us check the numbers on our
God,
bracelets.
it hurts so much to betray Tenmyoshi.
Yeah.
I got betrayed?
I'm so sorry. I love
Yeah.
you. He chose ally. Why? He chose betray last time.
Last time? What are you talking
What
about?
the fuck?
Oh, nothing.
The truth was, I didn't know why I'd said that earlier. The words just appeared in my mouth before I knew I was saying them.
Oh, you're the one who chose betray. I should be asking you why.
I told him you might choose betray.
Fine, you're taking
I
responsibility?
can't believe you. I'd never choose betray.
I would never do that.
Literally never, King. This is so true. You are not lying.
I trusted you two,
I'm so
and
sorry.
this is what I got.
Old man divorce.
Ah,
Old man divorce arc.
R.I.P. to the fucking blue shirt, white hair gang.
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, you be it really is. I'd never betray you.
Yeah. Fi, you don't need to apologize. I was the one who did it. I pushed the button.
Oh,
Okay, it is this one where she's like,
I guess you
Yeah,
got a
this is
point.
where she does it.
yeah, it is your fault. Huh? Yeah, Astro, I will say, like, if you ever watch, like, a playthrough of this game, or if you ever play this game again, it is a different game the second time. It's incredible. The experience of, like, seeing VLR when you know everything is, like, I love it. Like, I wasn't a huge... Luna didn't stand out to me the first time I played the game. The second time I played the game, Luna's the funniest character in the whole thing. She is a deeply tragic and
Wow.
incredibly hilarious character who cannot tell a convincing lie to save her life. It's incredible.
I'm not a coroner. Do you think maybe you're a robot?
Yeah, Sigma, are you a robot? Have you always been here? It's so good.
Literally, again, VLR is one of the best games to replay of all time.
It's really a second playthrough of VLR. Like, it's a long ass game, so I understand why people don't. But I'm like, oh my god, VLR the second time. It's incredible. Wait, what?
It's Sigma's fault. You want to blame someone?
I
Blame
fucking
him.
love you, Fi.
Fi sucks. I love her. What the hell, Fi?
Ah. What, you gonna fight each other now?
Fuck you both.
I don't care which one of you
I
pushed the
thought we had something special.
After the infirmary.
I'm never trusting either of you again.
White hair, blue shirt
isn't over.
gang is no more. He takes off his shirt.
It's 10 me over.
Just wait.
I tried to think of something to say, but before I could come up with the right words, he was gone. I spun around.
Fi! What the fuck? Oh, I always forget that there's half... when Snow did their chart with all the fucks, I always forget they'll do half fucks sometimes.
Yeah. But she was gone too.
Because I think Sigma's one of the characters who has a non-whole number of fucks. Tenmyoji as well. Because he almost cusses in front of Quark that one time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I love how it seems to say, like, anything in front of Quark but fuck.
Yeah.
Nah, not that one.
Yeah.
You teach them to say bastard all the time, though.
Listen, bastard, they can reclaim, so it's fine.
They literally can. They are part of Bastard Club.
Yeah. God, where the hell? I love calling any character a bastard for any reason, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so funny when characters are born outside of wedlock.
Hell yeah.
Or conceived outside of wedlock. I consider them to be honorary bastards.
For sure.
It's not exactly the same, but like, I don't know. I feel like if their parents got shotgun married, then that comes with a lot of the bastard problems.
I feel like they deserve to share the space.
Yeah, they absolutely deserve a space in our conversations around bastardhood.
Like, the thing is, labels are for utility of identification,
Exactly.
of, like, support and solidarity and getting, like, resources you need. So for those purposes, they're bastards, even if they don't meet a strict definition of it.
Yeah. I always love when I try to, like, litigate whether or not a character counts as a bastard by, like, looking online to be like, are you still a bastard if XYZ? Because invariably, 90% of the results I get are, like, people asking this question hypothetically on Quora and getting responses like, don't ever let anyone tell you you're a bastard. It doesn't even matter in today's society.
I want to know.
I'm like, no, you don't understand. How'd she just disappear like that?
As I looked around the room for Phi, I noticed that Clover, Kay, and Luna seemed to be having some kind of an argument as well. Oh, this is another really funny one.
Oh my god, yeah.
I moved my closer and did my best to listen surreptitiously.
That's a $5 word, Sigma, jeez.
Yeah, Sigma, did you open your word of the day calendar before you got kidnapped? I want to beat him to death.
Sorry. I guess I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible, you know?
I apologize.
The fuck?
I felt the same way.
No?
If we all choose ally, then we could all escape together. It only takes 3 turns to get 6 points. That would be enough to get us out. Why?
My
Of course we know
oven
that.
was on, so...
But if we betray, then it's faster.
If your opponent chooses ally,
That's such
you
a
choose
bad
betray,
argument,
and you
Clover.
gain 3 points. Do that twice, and you get 6 points. You see?
I can do math. I'm
If
a
you
calculator.
call
Yeah.
My great-grandma was a calculator.
Great grandma! My great grandma was a TI-84 or whatever the fuck.
Graphing calculator.
Yeah. Clover when she gets betrayed next round because everyone knows she gets betrayed literally.
But if you betray somebody,
Clover
you
and Kay
only have to
fucking
do it
suck in this
twice.
game.
I love them.
I can never get over how openly suspicious and willing to betray Kay especially constantly is, and how you still want to trust him because he's so nice.
Because he's such a polite boy.
He seems like a polite young man. And sometimes he is. Sometimes he's a
He
polite
is
old woman.
Polite.
Why are you acting like that's the right thing to do? I almost feel like you're blaming me or something.
We aren't trying to.
We're
blame you.
not victim blaming, we're just blaming the victim.
But, I mean, if
This
you
is
just think
true.
about it, wouldn't it make sense to choose betray?
Clover, you're so funny. Kyle being like, of course we do not blame you, Luna. And Clover being like, well, I kinda do.
She's like, what kind of idiot picks ally?
I love her. I love everyone in VOR. Everyone kind of sucks at least a little bit except Luna.
Yeah, I am. Sometimes I feel like I am VLR Clover's strongest soldier, because, like, I get that they get her wrong sometimes, but sometimes they're so right.
Sometimes they're so funny.
Yeah.
I understand now. It was silly of me to trust you guys.
This is like a tragic moment for
Yeah,
Luna.
exactly. See, we agree.
Poor Luna.
I'm gonna go call my great grandma. Types in 077 fuck 34.
Yeah.
Luna walked off with her head buried between her shoulders.
It's like that one.
Shoulders is one of the worst words.
What's the phone? What do you type in on the phone to get the one that's like calculator speak? Is that when you do 8008?
I feel like 8008 is like the no, because that's
No, that's 6969.
Maybe it is 808.
I feel like it's 8008 that gets you the one where they type a bunch of numbers and it's like, goodness, he's unintelligible or something like that.
Yeah.
Or gosh, he is unintelligible.
Yeah,
Illegible.
I don't exactly remember, but
It's illegible. That's what it is.
It might
It's
be
so hard to
808.
remember. It's been so long. I want to say that one's 8008 because yeah, 6969 is the one that gets you the sex hotline.
Yeah.
The phone sex hotline.
Wild sentence.
Yeah. In the middle of this death game in what can be your first room.
And of course Sigma would do that.
Yeah.
Her back trembled as if perhaps she were crying, but I couldn't see her face.
I also like how Sigma's main problem with it is that it's expensive.
Yeah.
And also that there's no reason that it's there other than Akane did that to fuck with Sigma. Like, there's no other explanation
Literally.
for it, because nobody else could have, like... Nobody else's voice could be on there, unless it's Luna, but I don't think it would be Luna.
Well, one of the other golems.
That's true, yeah, I forgot that there's, like, 39 other ones at least, I think.
Named after MLP characters.
Yeah, with 7 of them being named after My Little Pony characters, that's very true. And one of them being named after Science Boy.
6 and Spike.
I'll never forget the Science Boy golem.
I hope it was Science Boy on the other end of the line.
Please. I forget, did you read this one yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Alice, Steel, and Quark, however, seem to be having some issues of their own.
Fine. You just wait.
Man, this is all your fault, Quark.
I need to turn him into paste.
me?
I can't get over how many different times Dio pulls this shit, by the way.
It's so funny.
How many distinct
Again, one of my
occasions where
favorite
he's like,
arcs
the
in
child
world
did
is-
it.
Yeah. One of my favorite arts in the world is of Dio showing what he imagines Quark as Zero to be.
Swirling a root beer float in a wine glass.
They exchanged dark looks, then stomped off in different directions. He's gonna make a baby who fucking cry, and they're gonna do that little kid thing, trying not to cry.
Yeah.
and- It's gonna be bad.
Zero, when does the next round start?
What makes you think we'll be having another round?
Well, you said round 1. If there's a round 1, then there's likely a
I
round 2.
think we can skip for a while at this point
Oh,
until
yeah, that's
it'll
true.
be yeah, because it's gonna be different when he goes over the names of those 4 sick, but yeah, it is a while of
I'd say.
yeah.
Yeah, because he does the...
Tanbioldi. Or Alas. Or Mooney. Or maybe
Everyone. That's
God, I love Cindy Robinson.
I loved that read of the laugh. The, like, very close to, like, the Ojo-sama, like, Saturday
Yeah.
morning villain laugh. Yeah.
What?
Cindy
where
Robinson.
you have to do the like fan in front of your mouth kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. You physically can't do it without holding your hand in front of your mouth like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah. Why am I going to die?
Well, actually, for unrelated reasons to your points.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. You won't die from your points, Alice.
Yeah.
I guess I can tell you why.
You are gonna die, but not because of
Drops
that.
to 0 gets penalized. Just like when you break the rules.
I'm pretty sure I already told you what the penalty is.
And then the
Oh,
needles in our-
they're sticking into the top of our bones.
Yeah, literally the boniest part of the wrist. Right in the bones. That's a certified VLR fact. And we'll die.
Correct, Ziggy. Full mark.
Can we skip again?
Alice, Luna, and
No.
I, that means we'd have less than
Yeah,
0.
it's
Oh, yeah,
just
Lost 2
this
points.
part.
Yeah.
What? What the hell? This
Yeah,
is
now I
important
think it,
stuff.
Yeah,
Why
then you
didn't
get
tell
to...
us about this earlier?
What the hell? This is important stuff.
No! Skip! I do think this is important stuff immediately into a skip is really funny.
Yeah, the fact that that's the line that signals you can start skipping is fantastic.
Also, so I just have one request for this, and it's to do infirmary last, because that way we get core collapse on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, we can do...
Thank you. I think crew quarters, lounge, infirmary is the funniest order to have Sigma walk in incomprehensibly.
Oh, is that when it's, like, really long?
Yeah, it's just the silliest you could do in the circumstance of going infirmary last.
Oh, damn, one of the rare occasions where Skip actually skips the map portion.
Yeah.
Would you believe we're half-sisters? No.
I believe you're twins. Again, I want Ace to be here purely for that reason, where he'd like, of course.
Yeah.
How hadn't I seen it?
I like how Ace
dare
has...
say identical.
I like how Hongo's prosopagnosia is, like, implied to be so bad
Not
that,
how
like,
it works.
he would have fallen for that. He, like...
Yeah.
Like, if Alice and Clover had said that, he'd be like, oh, sure, yes, absolutely. I see the resemblance.
Yes, it is, wow, are you sure you are not identical, haha?
God. Okay,
I
keep going.
do not see race, parentheses, real.
He physically cannot see race. He's incapable. What happened with the first and second
Fully.
nonary games?
Again, his prosopagnosia is not how prosopagnosia works.
Not even
but-
slightly. He's got that spirit of justice prosopagnosia. But actually worse
Yeah.
than that. Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that dude could at least see, like, hair and skin color.
Yeah.
Why isn't
Before
this
she could
skippable?
respond, Alice spoke up.
Oh, I guess this is we didn't do crew quarters first before.
Yeah, we did crew quarters last, so we got interrupted by, coming in for Quark.
I always forget that, like, how, well, I feel like I haven't done every variation of this one, because I would always forget what ones I'd done before.
I have. I love doing every single possible combination of things.
I believe this, Grace. You,
This is
having
true.
seen everything possible in VLR, I would never believe it.
I'm so mad there were
But I
some
think that's
things
all
I
we're
in
going to
fact
get.
hadn't seen until recently. Like literally Quark content I missed because it was an obscure locker interaction.
Yeah, that locker one was crazy. When Adrian got it for the first time, I'm like, holy shit. The people need to know.
The people are me. I needed to now I scream about it like weekly.
The people, Grace in parentheses, need to know that Quark has been hiding in lockers since they were this tall.
This tall.
We don't have any proof that you're not Zero Senior.
I love when they do the same pose but mirrored, kind of. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
exactly the same,
great.
but, like,
If you are,
I do
then
love
she'd
when they seem to be
telling our
posing
enemy all
together.
our secrets. I can't let that happen.
I'm totally not Zero Senior.
We don't have
Why
proof
would
that
you
you're-
think that's even possible?
I would never be Zero Senior. Are you an
I
idiot?
am never saying this.
For one, I'm not Zero. I'm not Zero.
Me when I'm wrong.
I'm simply not Zero. Second, even if I was, I'd already know everything you're refusing to tell me. Astro, this game is constantly getting away with shit. It is
Yeah.
impossible to overstate how every, like, 5 minutes there's a line where you're like, I can't believe they got away with this.
They had to have been like laying on their bed, kicking their feet, giggling.
You must have done a lot of drugs to look like that at 22. There's no reason for you to
Seen
do
my
this.
old fart?
Don't say that.
Iconic.
Maybe there's something we know that Zero Senior doesn't.
And that would be...
Are you deaf? I said we're not telling you.
Okay.
Let's go, Clover. There's one more room we haven't visited.
Oh, okay. Coming.
Hey, hold on a minute.
Goodbye.
The only word that appropriately describes how they left in the room would be stalked.
I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah. I could have followed them, sure, but it was clear I wouldn't be getting any more information out of Alice or Clover.
Damn it. Well, at least you're in the room. You can, you know, dial the phone sex hotline to feel better.
I kicked one of the lockers angrily, but it only rattled back at me. Like a skeleton. There wasn't anything more I could do. It was time to move on to a different room. I dug my hands into my pockets and headed off. Lounge. Lounge.
Long.
Longue.
Oh my god.
I love making him move silly. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
It's so far.
And he needs to circle back into the infirmary. Like, why would he walk like that?
Yeah.
Because I made him.
Another dude.
You should be able to
This place is turning
skip.
into a real sausage fest.
That-
Yeah, but consider that the dialogue in this room is really good.
This is true.
Consider that I fucking love this room. What are you
This
telling
is
me
true.
for? Oh yeah, you were one of the first people in here, weren't you?
Yeah, so?
Well, did you notice anything?
No. Although I guess I did notice that the sofa's pretty comfortable.
Again, I hate him.
Okay, how about something more useful?
I'd say that the comfort level of a sofa is pretty useful.
I'm going to
He
take
was
him out
sitting
back.
his ass on the sofa in the alcohol room while one of the people in here was a child, thus could not do the alcohol puzzles.
Yeah.
But by Alice's jurisdiction, they would try it, but
Yeah. Right.
Dio, what's this?
That? What, you can't tell? It's a dirty magazine.
I do not know much of that subject, but I do not think that is true.
I can't. Something that really truly just occurred to me, because I think I've historically played this game through speakers rather than headphones, is that you can hear Liam O'Brien get close to the microphone when he says that. You can literally hear the, like, it's a dirty magazine. Like,
Leaning in conspiratorially.
it has that, like, sound of, like, you can tell he dropped his volume lower so that he could really get on the mic for that delivery. It sucks. It's so good. Oh, come on. It's about astronomy. Can you even read?
Can you even see?
No, he cannot.
Just look at those rings on Saturn.
That's the
Don't they
moon.
excite you?
No. That's Saturn.
Different strokes, I
It
guess.
appears to be a special dedicated to a lunar eclipse.
Anyways.
Can be observed on December 31st, 2028.
I love the graphic design is my passion-ass cover, by the way.
The
really-
5 fonts, the text like just a little bit over the moon. Them not showing what a toner lunar eclipse actually looks like in this picture.
It's the placement of the words total lunar eclipse is like I can't pinpoint any one specific thing wrong with it. It's just that like every decision about where that font is and what it looks like is the wrong one. They didn't do anything
Yeah.
right. Like the date looks okay, but like this is atrocious. I'm obsessed.
It's so bad.
It's so there's no
And again-
like it's great. There's no like balancing of like left and right. It's a nightmare. I love it.
And they just genuinely are not demonstrating a total lunar eclipse.
No. It's just a picture of the moon.
This is just the moon.
It's just the moon, guys. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
Right. Yeah, I guess it did say something like that.
I guess this is what a total lunar eclipse looks like if you took the picture from space.
December 31st, huh? That's 6 days from now, right?
6 days, huh?
You mean today is December 25th?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it is. Depends on how long I was out for after they hit me with that gas, I suppose.
Normal amount.
Yeah, an amount of time that is not of concern. You just
Which
took a quick
is
nap.
actually
Your team went to the
true,
crew quarters, right?
but
Yeah.
they would not think it's true once information is revealed, but then all the information is revealed and it is true that it was in fact a normal amount of time.
Yeah, technically speaking, he was only knocked unconscious for like a few hours. He's been awake this whole time.
Yeah.
Did you find anything?
Nothing of interest.
You'd better not be hiding something.
There really wasn't anything helpful. At least, nothing that could help us escape. There was a book about a cat, though.
A cat? What, so now Zero Senior's a crazy cat lady? Just what the hell are we
Yeah.
supposed to do with that tidbit?
Well, it's more useful than how comfortable the sofa is.
Hey! The sofa's comfort level is very useful.
I
What?
think you must have
Anyway.
misunderstood me. This book isn't for, cat ladies. It's about Schrodinger's cat.
I don't really give a shit
Shit
about
about
I
the
don't really
breed
give a shit
genius.
about the breed genius. I hate him.
One of the greatest lines and one of the greatest line deliveries, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a dog person if you couldn't tell.
You, there
We
is
could tell.
no way on earth you have ever seen a real dog.
No, but we have these little, like, shambling sludges of meat with these adorable little tails.
No, it's
You
not an
can't
issue of
pet
breed.
them. Your hand just kind of sinks in and fuses with it. But they're adorable.
God. I guess maybe you could take a dog to the moon. But, like... Maybe there were dogs, for reasons I shan't say. But there probably weren't. Because, I mean, Brother liked dogs.
This
Okay,
is
okay,
true.
okay.
Which is probably why he's a dog person. It's probably not actually
Yeah.
that deep, but, like...
It's doctrine.
Yeah.
So it's a story about poor Mr. Schrodinger and his beloved cat, right? Don't tell me. The cat dies at the end. Who fucking who?
So fucking funny.
Liam O'Brien is so good in this game.
Never mind.
Literally.
He's so sad. He's so sad he keeps getting interrupted.
You can tell me about Schrodinger's cat, Kay.
I want to hear... Okay, that was all.
Well,
Oh,
Anyway, you
you
guys
don't
hear
wanna
about
see
disease?
lost
women.
my balance a few times.
This is new? Huh.
I think the setup. Why would this have particularly changed? I'm trying to think.
My body feels kind of weird too, now that you mention it.
That's probably just because you were asleep for so long.
Are you suggesting that our incarceration
Probably
here has
it's
nothing to do
for
with this?
normal reasons.
It's probably nothing. It's probably nothing of concern. You were
And
asleep.
again, she always throws in that probably.
Yeah.
So she has plausible deniability. I love her.
She'll always either say the actual truth with a maybe somewhere in the sentence or a lie with a probably.
Yeah.
And she loves to make this face while she's doing it.
She really does.
Luna, I love you.
I love Luna.
Yeah. It just doesn't add up. The order's backwards. Maybe if we'd been thrown in here after this virus started spreading. But right now it
This
looks like we were
virus that
abducted
I
before this
also
thing
know
turned into a
nothing
pandemic.
about.
This virus that I've never heard of before. Until
I
now.
know what.
How's that make any kind of sense? Besides,
Yeah, I
you found
think
that article
we
in the safe, right?
established that every person in this room probably has never heard of this virus before now.
Yeah, this is news to all of us.
That means Zero Senior put it there specifically so we could find it and read it.
Why would Zero do something like that?
So that we'd think this place is a quarantine facility. So that we'd think what Zero wants us to think.
Sheep, but we're not sheeple.
How do you mean?
This thing is just a
Especially not me.
prop.
Yeah.
To set the scene.
Dio, perhaps the most sheeple here.
Zero's trying to freak us out.
I'm what you would consider a free thinker.
That article is a fake.
You've got a point. I think an interesting contrast between Dio and Kyle, especially Kay in general, is that, like, Kyle is constantly acting trustworthy, or acting in ways that are objectively suspicious but has a trustworthy personality. Dio quite often does say things that are reasonable, but he has a suspicious personality. You know what I mean?
He's so shitty in every single second that you just want to punch him instead of listening to him.
Yeah.
Even though he technically raises good lies at
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, like, he does say a lot of shit that is, if he didn't actually know what was going on, would be reasonable things to point out.
I do not want him fixed, I just want him hit with hammers.
Yeah. You've got a point. If it was real, why cut it out? Just leave a newspaper with the article circled in red pen or something.
Right? That lazy son of a bitch. Probably too much of a pain in the ass to fake a whole paper.
What does the other side look like?
The other side? Oh, hold
I
on.
think it might be the same now.
Yes, you're right.
And now the funny place where we're gonna get one of the best graphics in the game.
Let's go.
What do you want?
What do
And
I
now
want?
this will all be different for our betrayal.
Yeah, yeah. What, you think I'm here to play doctor? Only if you're secretly Clover.
I mean,
Sigma!
you could. No, I'm mad at you.
Tell you
Wait,
what,
I
how
just
about I'll be
processed
the
the
doctor?
last part. Fuck off.
Why? I have no memory of him saying that. That is like new dialogue to me. Sigma!
Blanked it out because it's bad.
You get on the exam table, and I'll cut you open with that scalpel over there.
Hot. Man, are you still pissed?
What the hell do you think? My BP's down to 1 thanks to you.
Come on, I already told you I was sorry.
Yes, and that makes it all better. You goddamn idiot.
Well then what the heck am I supposed to do?
Piss off.
Play doctor.
Seems like I'm already doing that.
You don't know the half of it. Just get out of my sight.
Easy solution then. Just close your eyes. I forgot about how
Leave
bitchy
before
this
I make
conversation
yours
gets.
black. The last guy.
Oh yeah,
went
it's
home
about
in
to
an
get so
ambulance.
much funnier.
This one right here. Shouldn't have picked a fight with a paramedic then.
Shut
We don't even have those.
God. Yeah, I have a hard time believing
Honestly-
they have ambulances.
Oh yeah, we also don't. The last guy I fought was 45 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Truly, if I was Tenmyoji in this moment, I'd be so annoyed I would just reveal everything to Sigma to ruin his life.
Yeah, honestly, Tenyoji's got restraint. Fine.
Probably because it'll kill him and Quark.
Yeah, that's true.
I shoved my hands in my pockets and looked around the room.
So is it just you here?
On this side of the divider, yeah.
This side?
Quark's over there, having a look around. And there's... You're really gonna make me say it?
Oh, the lady who was murdered, you mean?
Quark's playing with a dead body. It's good for the immune system.
Yeah, you've been acting kind of weird ever since we found her. Why is that?
Or what, isn't that normal? We found a
Quark
dead
and
body.
Akane.
Who the hell doesn't get a little freaked out?
Did you know I have thoughts about Quark and Akane and Pelos and the general content of VOR with them?
No, you?
Yeah, me.
You,
And
Grace?
how Akane, Astro actually goes with Quark in nearly every room while she's K. The only exception being when she goes with Tenmyoji and Clover. Akane goes with Quark in every room, including the in-between investigation segment.
Man.
It makes me lose it with their fucking parallels.
Man.
Yeah. It was such a fucking revelation, and I never shut up about it.
It's just because we've got a lot of other stuff to think about. Can you blame them for being a little single-minded? They're trying to escape from a game that's just made it clear it has no problems killing them.
Oh, just trying to survive, huh? Then don't you
Yeah.
think we ought to figure out who killed her first?
What does that have to do with anything?
You don't think much, do
What
you?
the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, Sigma, that's a weird response.
I'll bet you a pound of Neopon.
Yeah.
The bastard who grabbed us is the same bastard who killed her.
Funny
I bet
enough,
you a
no.
big old magnet.
Who else could it be?
If Zero is among us.
Don't you ever say that.
There's only one Zero Escape character who gets to say that. You mean Zero is among us? And you're saying one of us murdered the old lady? You saw it too, right? The person in the gas mask.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen a person in a gas mask before being kidnapped yet.
That did happen to me. Did you notice anything?
Not really. The gas made pretty short work of me.
Again, not a lie.
I was made pretty short work of by Soperil gas before.
That did happen.
Me and Quark.
What? You and Quark were grabbed together?
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
You're so good at lying, King.
It's
See you,
so good.
grandson.
He has so many lies to juggle. I do not
Yeah.
blame him even slightly.
Yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do with what's going on here.
But what if it does? Maybe it'll shed some light on something else.
I'm pretty sure it won't.
Why's that?
Quark's got nothing to do with this.
So it's got something to do with you, then?
I mean,
What is
yeah,
it,
but
goddammit?
shut up.
What do you want? Why don't you just leave me alone?
Because you're suspicious.
What? There's nothing suspicious about me.
You
Tenmyoji.
literally betrayed me.
There is everything suspicious about you, King. I'm so sorry.
Literally, you're probably the most suspicious character in this game until the reveal.
Alright, tell me this then. When and where did Zero Senior abduct you?
Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna tell
Normal place.
The store.
Where they have employees and sell products. Quark's been to it plenty of times.
Yeah. Alright, fine.
They
just
get
ask
little
Quark.
salami from the deli.
Quark!
Hey, stop.
If they lived in normal world, you know Tenmyoji would use them to get into, like, all the places with, like, an age limit free. Because, like, he could pass them, like, again, at this point, for, like, a 6-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I've always been short, so my parents did that to me. I think the biggest one they ever did was I was told to pass for 17 at the age of 21. My parents were like, you're 17 this weekend.
I did get pegged for 18 when I was like just a couple of months ago. And I'm not even short.
Yeah.
I'm normal amount.
Yeah. That's yeah. You know Tenmyoji is like, Quark, you're 6 today. Until Quark is like 15.
Oh yeah, and they'll just be like, okay, because they know a good deal. They know free stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't tell him a damn thing!
Oh, you're getting more suspicious by the...
I started toward the partition as I spoke, with the intention of finding Quark. Are you ready for the funniest graphic in the game?
It's about to get so normal in here.
I found him as I rounded the divider, but... Look at how small they are.
I always forget the, like, action lines on this that just add...
The action lines are the best part.
It adds so much.
There are way too many action lines, and, like, truly just, like, it had to been added, and the director had to just say, no, more, like, 3 times.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Look how far their hat fell. That's, like, a serious owie.
But it also it doesn't seem to have, like, rolled at all.
Yeah, it just flew off.
Which, like, physically, I'm not sure I understand how it happened that way.
Okay, I think it's too big for them.
Okay.
And so as they tripped, it flew forward.
Give me 1 second. I think Cecil's trying to get into the trash. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll just keep talking about all the details about Quark, and I'm gonna repeat them when Josh is back. I don't know if Josh can hear me. I don't know the headphone situation. I don't think that they can hear me. But look at how tiny Quark's hands are, y'all. That's a fucking baby. Literally. They look like a toddler here. It's ridiculous. I want to, like, pick them up by, like, the little hook at the back of their coat and throw them.
I love coming back to just that.
Yeah, I was just talking about how they look like a toddler, because, like, look at those hands and how small they are.
Yeah, they really are very small hands for, like, proportioned to the body.
Yeah, and just general size, like this, genuinely, like without seeing the face, hearing the voice, I could probably imagine they're, like, 5.
Yeah, the limb proportions are very short.
What?
Yeah. Literally a baby. I, like, truly am so glad they're gonna get anesthetized, because, like, their face has gotta hurt bad. They did not catch themselves.
Not even slightly.
Like, you could say maybe they tried with, like, one arm a little bit to do it, but, like, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
It just went straight down. They definitely lost a 2 for 2 here, but there is no Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
With a yell, he shoved me away and ran to the boy's side. Baby.
Quark, what's wrong? Say
Give
something.
them kisses!
Nothing's wrong and Quark is fine. It's all good. Nothing
They're
bad.
literally about to be so normal.
Nothing bad has happened.
Tenmyoji shook the boy's body, something he loves to do to people with fevers.
Is he breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing.
Then he just passed out.
I don't know. Look, that doesn't matter. Just go find that girl, Luna. She said she was a doctor, didn't she? Quark needs a doctor.
She said she wasn't a coroner.
Yeah, she actually
Honestly,
also...
better than what I have.
Yeah. She specifically didn't say she was a doctor. She said that she had a medical license and that she's not a nurse, nor is she a coroner. That's the extent of information that we know.
Literally, that is so much better than what I've had for 45 years.
You know what? Yeah. She has a medical license.
license?
A medical license
Now,
that
she does
Sigma
not, in
printed
fact, have
out
a
and hung on the
medical
wall.
license, But
She went to Moon Harvard. I don't know where you get your med license from. Hang on.
well,
I'll be right back. She has a medical license in the sense that Sigma printed out a piece of paper that said medical license on it and then laminated it and hung it on the wall somewhere.
yeah, and she has her little story we established of her going on 2024 Google Maps to pick out a
Yes.
university she studied at. She made such an extensive cover story, like when you make a 10-page D&D character.
Yeah.
And she got to use like 1 page of it.
Yeah. She was ready.
She could not lie on the fly. She had
No.
to have it prepared.
She's like fucking Aoi, who can't lie when he has to.
Yeah.
He can only lie when he's given a script, and when he isn't, it's like, I hate 4.
It's such a half-ass number. She was probably still in the lounge. She spun around and ran off. I know it's gonna happen later, but just with him passing out, I'm thinking about it. It is so ridiculous for Tenmyoshi to say, they're not anemic, because literally this is the most anemic-coded character I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, oh, Quark's getting enough iron in their diet, are they? Where?
Yeah.
Eating metal?
So, they have gay baby disease and also anemia. Like, are they eating the scrap metal? That's the only way I think they have
Yeah.
enough iron.
Yeah.
God, Luna's mute hair. It's so bad.
Luna's hair is just baffling that it looks like that.
I feel so bad for every artist and cosplayer of like, you just need to decide what you're gonna do because you can't do what it is.
No.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I actually had to say real bullshit.
You're fine.
The whole process took only a few minutes. The machine scanned Quark's body, and within seconds, his results lit up the screen. Words too complicated for me to understand scrolled across it, and as she read them, Luna's face grew dark. I do think we could skip if we want, but I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
For 2 seconds.
A little bit. Yeah. By then, everybody had pushed their way into the infirmary and gathered around Quark's bed. Kate beckoned to Alice and Clover. One of the little, like, doctor office pediatrician beds.
Yeah. Have you heard of this virus? Radical 6, I mean. Not the other one.
Yeah, they have. I told them about it before we went to the lounge.
What? No, that can't be right. Quark can't be...
Yeah, no, I'd lose it too if it was
There must be
nuked off
something we
the
can
face
do.
of the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like suddenly they were like, it's the Black Plague. Like...
Yeah.
How can we cure him?
Well, the Atom says that there's an antiviral serum called Excelavir. It's...
Yeah.
I'm normal.
Certified baby moment.
Certified baby moment. Babies are so silly.
Yeah.
Oh, is someone cranky?
I won't go with Sigma.
Fair enough.
I don't want to pinch their cheeks
Betrayed
while
me
they're
last.
trying to thrust the scalpel into their heart. Oh, someone needs a nap.
I mean, true, they did need a nap.
They really needed a nap.
A nap helped.
Nap time was, in fact, vital.
Yeah. What about Phi?
You hit the button, right, Sigma?
Well, yes,
Bouncing
but
them on my knee while they try to
don't
kill
want to go with
themselves.
so true, Alice.
Same reason.
You are so right for
I
this.
can't trust that he won't betray me again.
Thanks a lot, Quark. You've single-handedly torpedoed my reputation.
I don't know what
Oh
most
my
of those
fucking
words
God,
mean.
dude.
I love that he doubles down on blaming Quark. It's so funny.
Well,
Wow,
that
they're
leaves us with
sick and
option B.
unconscious.
He never lets it go.
I literally love it.
Why not?
Sorry, Luna, but I can't trust you or Phi either. The way he is right now, someone's going to have to carry Quark. I just can't afford to give him to someone I don't trust.
I thought you trusted Phi.
Not enough for this.
Then what do you intend to do?
I trust her to, like, hold my lunch, not my baby.
Yeah.
Quark
Quark is a
shifted
solo,
silently
as
in
are you,
Kay's
teenager.
arms.
Solos can't pair with one another. You do remember that.
Yeah, of course I do. I didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted.
Phi would absolutely eat my lunch, by the way.
Oh yeah, I don't trust her, but Tenmyoji does, wrongly.
She would absolutely take like half my fries if I told her to keep an eye on my plate while I went to the bathroom.
I think if you had a sandwich, like, she would just fully pick it apart and, like, leave you a mess, like, just taking the stuff she likes out.
Yeah.
Like, she would give you, like, just lettuce and, like, just lettuce and slime on your plate.
And when you get back, she will gaslight you about it.
Yeah.
She will tell you she doesn't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you trust then?
Clover.
What? Me?
I love this game, I love this game, I love this game. He trusts her.
He trusts
Yeah, that's
Clover
what I
and he
said.
hasn't even told her yet, so she's like, why do you trust me?
Why?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I just
Normal
know.
reasons.
Clover and Junpei make me want to scream, cry, throw up.
Same.
I know I'm like literally always talking about this, but like their trust and friendship is so... Her ass was not listening. Yeah.
Josh, this is so very much the space of I am always talking about this.
Yeah, this is true. This is the place for
This is
us to say
true.
what we're always saying.
Because it is so fucking good.
Yeah.
My partner is Sigma. Are you sure you want me to take him?
It's fine. Clover, you just vote by yourself. Make Sigma wait outside.
I
maybe.
think you'll kill him.
No. If Clover takes Quark, that
Oh,
means
sorry,
I'll be
Alice.
stuck
I didn't
with
mean to cut
Dio.
you off.
There's no way in hell I'm going to let that
You are having a bad track record with women right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for silencing women like this.
Who do you want to pair up with then?
Isn't it obvious?
Isn't it obvious?
Quark, remember what the announcement said? Something about how the system will automatically vote ally for anyone who doesn't enter their own voting
I
time?
want the baby.
If Quark doesn't wake up by then.
No. This is exactly why I can't trust any of you.
1 minute remains until chromatic doors close.
We don't have time to argue this. Let's take a vote. Those opposed to C?
Oh, Sindio's hands went up.
What?
God, that's
Why don't
such
you
a,
want
like,
Sindio?
by the way, smart, tricky way of framing it.
Mmm.
Well, if she's got that much of a hate-on for me, that hardly plays into my hands, does it?
Fine, whatever. I assume anyone who didn't raise their hand is all right with option C then?
Yeah, it lets you do that. No one objected. I kept my mouth shut too. Just as Alice had said, there was an excellent chance that Quark would default to ally. If that happened, he'd make a great opponent. I choose ally, of course, but it would be good to not have to worry about him choosing betray.
All right. 6-2 in favor.
Wait, what about me?
Stay here if you don't like it. I imagine your partner might have something to say about that, though.
Kay handed Quark to me gently, then crossed his arms and turned to face Alice. Her jaw clenched as she stared up at him, and I could see the gears turning inside her head.
Fine.
10 seconds remain until chromatic doors close.
Oh, as we're approaching, do you feel like stopping before or after escape room?
Remind me what room it is?
But it's not code infirmary, the med room. Why am I blinking right now?
Oh, treatment center.
Treatment center.
I'm
a VR expert, I just don't have words in my brain.
Treatment center takes a while. I mean, it can be very quick. You can technically do treatment center very quickly, but
so how about we go right up until like when it starts, like when we're in the room?
Yeah, we can get to like, you know, we'll let it get to even like the seek a way out, and then we just won't start the puzzle.
Yeah.
Do it that way. Hurry, Clover, the door's closing.
Right.
Hey, take care of Quark.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Immediately bouncing and hits their head against the wall. It's okay, they're very used to injuries of that nature. It won't make them that much sillier.
Yeah.
I got a good grip on Quark, nodded at Tenmyoji, and took off for the door. Our feet slapped against the metal floor as we ran. The empty voice of the announcer echoed in my ears.
2, 1, 0. Chromatic doors.
Quark would have so much fun being carried around like this if they weren't unconscious and mind-brain melted.
Yeah.
Teeth rattle.
Huh? Is this a dead end?
Well, there are 3 doors here. But it looks like they're all
3
locked.
doors, not one.
I'm sorry if you can hear my cat scratching at the door. He's in jail right now because he's been bad.
It's okay, I cannot.
What's this thing? It's got a lever on it.
Can you pull the lever?
Come on, my hands are kind of full right now.
Oh, yeah. I can take Quark then.
I love her.
You really don't want to touch that thing, do you?
Well, I mean, look at it. It looks suspicious. Like I'm gonna touch it. Whoosh, a bunch of poison needles fly out of the wall. Maybe if I had, like, a piece of wood to move it with or something.
I think you might be a little paranoid.
Then you do it.
Fine. Oh, sorry.
I switched Quark over to one shoulder and flipped the switch. It's specifically when he goes down, Cyan door that he's mostly a freak UB.
Yeah, he's kind of at his worst in Cyan.
Which sucks because it's the true end section.
And it also is sometimes when he's at his best.
Yeah.
Some parts of
Cyan
Cyan
has his most concentrated badness. I'd say Yellow Door here is actually where he is. Again, besides some select moments, his best.
I think Cyan just has some really, really strong Sigma moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Yellow Door is probably when Sigma is holistically the best. See? No needles. Everything's fine.
For now.
Truly, it does not make sense, UB, because, like, we find the bombs there, so, like...
Yeah. It might
just sucks.
It might just be more urgent when there's bombs. He might have that thing Junpei has where he gets, like, horny whenever he's in a life or death situation and starts hitting on people. But it's funny when Junpei does it.
I do not want to hear what Sigma would have to say about wearing a leash.
Only one of the doors opened.
Did you see the plaque on that door before it opened? Bombs are more nebulous, but they're also, like, they're a more, like, provably potent threat. Technically speaking, they don't know what killed the old woman. It was probably murder, but the bombs are, like, definitely there and definitely going to kill them. It's less immediately clear if whatever killed the old woman is also a threat to them. Which is why I say the bombs are a more immediate threat. Because they're a more unambiguous threat.
It is truly just Sigma is horrible and sometimes really good, which makes it so much worse.
Yeah. First an infirmary, now this? Why do I keep ending up in these places?
Only normal things happen in these places.
Yeah.
I glanced over at Quark, asleep on my shoulder.
I was gonna say nothing too bad happens in treatment center, but, like, I guess that is where Dio dies in, like, the scariest possible way.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But a bad, oh boy.
Kyle was right for that, but...
It's completely...
Hey, you know what? We may have lucked out.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, if this is where they treat people, maybe they've got something that can cure Quark.
Oh, yeah.
Very enthusiastic, Clover, thanks. Oh, yeah. Let's head on in, then.
Okay.
Lion. God, I can't wait to talk to Ella next time.
I love Ellen, best character in the game.
Oh, hell yeah, I love Ellen End, literally. I think there's just so much analysis we're gonna do for it. It needs to be completely its own stream, like literally nothing else.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to take the time to talk about Ellen End.
It says on the side, treatment pod.
So I guess it treats people? Maybe it can help Quark.
Yeah.
Put them in the baby box.
Damn, no good. It's locked. You gotta play Mastermind, Sigma. Let's take a look around. Maybe something in here will tell us how to unlock this door.
Okay.
Clover nodded and bounced off to examine the room. I lay Quark down just outside the door to the treatment center, not on the couch. I didn't want to move that stuff.
No.
Clover might have been overly paranoid about the lever. There was no harm in being cautious. It's okay, they're so used to floor sleepies.
That's probably true. Hang on there, little guy. We'll get you fixed up soon.
Like, shit like this, like, Sigma is sweet and cares.
Yeah.
But then he sucks in both narratively interesting ways with Kyle later, and then sucks in just completely unrelated, horrible ways that make me unable to engage with his character because of how uncomfortable it makes me.
Yeah.
I ruffled his hair gently and then turned and headed back into the room. I had some investigating to do.
Seek a way out.
Seek a way out.
Alright, yeah, that's probably as good a spot as any.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad you could join us, Astro, and then all of y'all who had Miyoshi under now. Thank you so much. I did, in fact, cry again.
I'm so glad this was a delight. I'm sad Adrian couldn't be here.
Yeah.
But
and hopefully when he watches the VOD, he can see all of my huge, massive brain.
Oh, absolutely. Astro, I'm delighted. I I don't know if you're going to continue, like, Zero Escape right away, like, starting next week, or if you're going to take a break between games. Either of those would be completely understandable, but I am looking forward to Single Solitary Snail Sundays, or whatever it ends up being. That was what we called them when we were playing ZTD. I think it was, like, Single Solitary Snail Saturday or something. Starting in January. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, probably you'll want to take next week off. We will be.
Yeah.
No
stream next Sunday. Obvious reasons.
Yeah, Single Solitary Snail Sunday. You'll understand very quickly. That doesn't even spoil anything. You'll understand almost immediately.
Yeah, the snail is normal.
The snail comes up instantaneously. Christmas Eve ZTD moment would be a time. New Year's Eve would also be a fun time to play that game.
Yeah, it really would. New Year's would be especially, like, Christmas Eve VOR would really, really be something.
Yeah. Christmas Eve VLR stream, New Year's ZTD stream. God. You could just, if you play the games really quickly... You can do, like, 999 you have a lot of time, because you start just, like, sometime in November. Some unspecified November day. And then you play VLR.
I think the implication is November 1st?
They never actually say that.
Yeah, it's not said, just... I forget how implied and how fanon that is.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I just know that it is November. I don't remember why I know that, but it is.
Yeah, it's November guaranteed. I just forget if November 1st has, like, subtext or if it's fanon.
Yeah, because I know widely accepted November 1st is, like, Clover's birthday and such. But yeah, I can't remember how much they actually imply that. But yeah, so you have, like, November, December... for 999, then you have 1 week for Virtue's Last Reward.
Now, the thing is, do you play Virtue's Last Reward the last week of December or on January 20th?
That's true. So you play the beginning of Virtue's Last Reward on Christmas Eve.
And then you hold off a month, then you wait an entire year for ZTD.
Right. Well,
or you can intersperse.
Well, yeah, because I feel like you would just do, because you would do VLR, and then you could do ZTD, and then you could do VLR again in January, whenever the fuck, like 27th or something.
I think it's the 20th, because my specific headcanon is that Quark's birthday is January 17th, because the Quark particle, the paper on it was published.
Okay, that's right, yeah.
January 17th, 1964, and so I always remember that Quark is 10 years and 3 days old in my headcanon of when the VOR started.
That sounds right.
Yeah. By the way, Astro, my headcanon of Quark's birthday is very, very good and smart. It really worked out for a perfect 100-year anniversary.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It is. Speaking of a good one, shall we tell them to have it?
I think that we shall. Thank you all for coming by, hanging out. It's, as always, it was a delight. We will not be streaming next week because I will not be here at any point in time next weekend. But we might... Hi, Trey. We're literally wrapping up right now. I'm so sorry.
We're doing our outro. Sorry.
But yeah, I will not be here next weekend. The following weekend is hard, maybe? I'm probably gonna want to stream because I'm gonna go days without leaving the house most likely. Yeah, I'll figure out after that because I will be back home the following weekend, but it's also like New Year's, so but maybe we'll do like a fun New Year's thing. I don't know, it's possible. But until then, have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, guys.